Welcome back to episode number 69 of Winning the Division. I am your co-host, Ryan Smith, alongside former NFL tight end Ben Troupe. Week 8, just about in the books. Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight. Thank goodness, been the last one of the season, finally. I don't like Monday Night doubleheaders personally. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to the Detroit Lions in the first game, and the Houston Texans traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks in the nightcap. That's 10 p.m. West Coast East Coast time, rather, 7 p.m. West Coast. So those East Coast people may not be watching that one. Let's go into our Week 8 recap, but I almost forgot. First thing first, let's do our first things first segment, Players of the Week and not Players of the Week. I will go first. Give me the Indianapolis Colts, Daniel Jones, as my Player of the Week. 2 touchdowns, 23 to 34, 288 yards. Jonathan Taylor, 3 touchdowns on the ground, even though he just had 94 yards, but 3 touchdowns in total as the Colts. 6-1 overall, best record in the NFL. They win 38-24 over the LA Chargers. So the Indianapolis Colts is my team of the week. My player of the week, I'm sorry, Ben, it's Christian McCaffrey. Last night, he looked like his old self against your Falcons, much to your chagrin. 24 carries, 129 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and also had 7 catches for 72 yards as well. So give me Christian McCaffrey, my player of the week, Indianapolis Colts, as my team of the week. And then my not-so-player or not-so-team of the week is the Las Vegas Raiders. Getting shut out to Kansas City is unacceptable, even with Brock Bowers not playing. It's a division rival. It's on the road. I understand that. But Geno Smith is just seemingly falling off a cliff, and this team is just not good. And I know we're got a little shorter of a time today, so I'm just going to keep that short. That is my not-so-player and team of the week is the Las Vegas.
Oh man, my team of the week is the Cleveland Browns. I mean, it's not their fault, right? It's not their fault. They went out there and got a big win against I don't know what the Dolphins are doing right now, other than imploding right now from the quarterback to the head coach to the team. But I give the Cleveland Browns a blowout victory against a Miami Dolphins team. My player of the week, he played last Thursday, Joe Flacco. 31 to 47, 342 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yes, I could have easily went with Jamar Chase. He's just caught another touchdown.
He's that good.
He was. My I got 2 not players of the week and a not team of the week, by the way. I said my not players of the week, Justin Fields and Tua Tagovailoa. Woo, Lord, I don't know what's going on. Justin is going this way, Tua is going that way, neither one is going that way. So I'm gonna go with Justin Fields. Justin Fields has the worst record for the first 50 starts in NFL history. He has the worst. And Tua, I think his days as a starter in Miami are over. I think this is probably going to be his last year. And my team, I'm not a team, but one part of the football, the Giants defense gave up 33 points in 1 quarter.
Yep.
Now, for those who don't know, 33 points. It was the 10-year anniversary of the 2015 Broncos. I know, Smitty, you don't want to hear about the 2015 Broncos for various reasons, but Demaryius Thomas went into the Broncos Ring of Honor. Demaryius Thomas, he died when he was 33. They scored 33 points. We believe in God over here, not conspiracy theories. Take it how you want it. If you are a Broncos fan, you love it, and if you are a Giants fan, you hate it. I give you. We don't have the sound bite right now, but I just say type in, Brian Burns post game, frustrations, and you'll see it. But 33-32. Giants defense, you gave up 33 points. Nothing screams we got a lot of work to do more than giving up. You know how long it'll take. And I could have picked the Titans, but I picked them every other week. I'm going to give them a week off, even though they could have been. Exactly. Give me the Giants defense. Give me the Giants defense.
Okay. Let's go to our recap now of Week 8 as we are almost halfway through the season, which is shocking at this point. Season is just flying by here as we're in mid-October. Start with the Thursday Night Football. The Cincinnati Bengals get a 33-31 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cincinnati is now 3-4. Pittsburgh falls to 4-2. Jamar Chase, 16 club record 16 passes on 23 targets, tied for the third most in the game since 1978, scoring a touchdown for 161 yards in total.
This is about the 40-year-old quarterbacks, one being 42. I think Aaron Rodgers, 42 years old, and Joe Flacco is 40 years old. Aaron Rodgers, 23 of 34, 249 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. If you are a tight end in this game, especially for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you will love it. Pat Fryer, 5 for 111, 2 touchdowns. You talk about Jonnu Smith, 3 catches, 28 yards, and a touchdown, and Big Darnell Washington. I mean, I don't even know how you do this. Darnell Washington had 3 catches for 2 yards. How you have more yards than catches? I mean, I don't get that. 3 catches, 2 yards, 1 touchdown. But this is about Joe Flacco. The game plan was throw it to Jamar Chase early and often. 31 to 47, 342 yards, 3 touchdowns. Brown had 11 rushes, 108 yards, 9.8 yards kept. But Jamar Chase, as you mentioned, 16 for 161. T. Higgins, 6 for 96. They made it look easy. 40-year-old quarterbacks out there looking vintage. I mean, some of these players wasn't even out the womb when they first got into the National Football League.
Yeah.
But I really, really like what I saw from Joe Flacco. He brings stability to that Cincinnati offense. I saw the other Joe Burrow on the sideline. I don't know if this is going to be indicative of the rest of the season for the Bengals, but for one night, it was all about Joe Flacco, not Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, who also almost got in a fight with one of his teammates after celebrating throwing the second touchdown to Freiermuth, kind of pushed him on the ground. And he had a man, I'm 40-something years old. Man, don't be pushing me. I almost tore my ACL messing with you. But shout out to them Cincinnati Bengals getting up. And them all-white unis for Cincinnati were nasty. They were nasty nice. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, the snow uniforms there in Cincinnati. Let's go to London, where the Los Angeles Rams get a 35-7 victory over the Jaguars to improve to 5-2 on the season. The Jaguars now 4-3 after getting off to that hot start. And it was Travis Hunter getting his first NFL touchdown, 13 targets for 101, 8 of 13 rather, for 101 yards and a touchdown, all career highs in his short career against the Rams.
If you are the Jacksonville Jaguars, you got to be scratching your head saying to yourself, what team are we? Are we the team that played against the Kansas City Chiefs and beat them? Or are we the team the last 2 weeks that played against the Seattle Seahawks and got embarrassed overseas? Trevor Lawrence, 23 of 48, 296 yards, 1 touchdown. Travis Etienne, 8 for 44. You mentioned Travis Hunter, 8 for 101. The problem is Brian Thomas Jr., 3 catches, 31 yards. I do not know what is going on with Brian Thomas Jr. right now. I think he already lead the league in drops, and I think he's got the most drops in the last 2 or 3 games. They're going to have to figure out because while Travis Hunter had his best game, he is not their number 1 receiver. But once again, Matthew Stafford, 21 of 33, 182 yards, 5 touchdowns. If you had Devontae Adams on your fantasy league, he was balling. I mean, Devontae Adams had 5 catches, 55 yards, 3 tubs. I mean, that's getting it done. And Smitty, it goes back to what I'm always talking about with these box scores. I care less about how many yards. I care more about the touchdowns and efficiency. That's efficiency. Matthew Stafford go do it. I've done the big yards. I was the fastest to 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. If he's at 50,000 right now, I want W's. And the Rams made the Jacksonville Jaguars, it looked below average. That was a hard game, and that's a long flight when you lose like that. I know they got a bye week, but shout out to the Rams who look around their division saying, we got to deal with Seattle. We got to deal with the 49ers. And obviously Arizona, they still play football. They just don't win a lot of football games. So that's how they say in the sticky thing. Shout out to the Rams.
Matthew Stafford had 5 touchdown passes on the day as well. And Sean McVay proving the sports analytics scientists wrong, saying, we're just going to go over the day of or the day before the game, and we'll just spend about 24 hours in London, get a win, and just come back. Anyway. So Sean McVay proving theories wrong like he normally does. Let's go to Chicago, where the Chicago Bears improved to 4-2 with a 26-14 win over the New Orleans Saints. The Saints now an ugly 1-6 on the season. And I should have said that Stafford got that win, by the way, without Puka Nacua as well in London as well. The New Orleans Saints, as I said, they fell 26-14, losing 2 players to a full-time out for the season injuries today. Center Eric McCoy and running back Kendre Miller, both out now for the season for the New Orleans Saints. Bears have now won 4 consecutive games within the span of a single season, the first time since 2018.
Spencer Rattler, 20 of 32, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. It's going to be hard to win like that. I mean, Chris Olave and, another Ohio State receiver, 5 for 98, 2 touchdowns, 19.6 yards a carry. But this is all about the Bears for 2 reasons. Caleb Williams, 15 of 26, 170 yards, 1 pick. So very pedestrian. Didn't do anything crazy. DeAndre Swift, 19 of 124 in the touchdown. They had 2 touchdowns. They had 2 touchdown rushes. DJ Moore had 3 for 43. But here's what ain't nobody talking about. Bears won 4 in a row, 4-game winning streak. Lost their first 2 games, have won the last 4. They are looking at the rest of their division saying, hey, Jordan Love, we ain't going nowhere. Carson Wentz. Right now with Minnesota, we ain't going nowhere. And the beast of that division right now is the Lions. Been very, very impressed with Ben Johnson and what he's been doing with Caleb Williams. He said, Caleb, while I don't like the interceptions, just take care of the football. And for a 4-game winning streak, anybody take it. I know we're going to get to your Panthers who had a 3-game winning streak, but this is about a team in Chicago who saying, look, are we good enough to make the playoffs a year or two under, with a guy like Caleb Williams? Ben Johnson, so far so good. 6 games in, 4 wins, 2 losses. I'll take it. And very impressive. Most teams don't beat the Saints, but very impressive win against the Saints team that's doing all they can to not be the worst team in the NFL right now, with the Jets still being winless and the Titans only winning 1 game. And I think the Titans play the Browns. Looking at how the Browns beat the Dolphins, I don't feel too good about that being a win for the Titans at this point.
Yeah. It's panic time in Miami as the Dolphins are now 1-6 as well, with their 31-6 loss to the Cleveland Browns. Speaking of, who just improved only to 2-5 on the year. Have a day, Quinshon Judkins, as he enjoyed a 46-yard touchdown run midway through the game. Judkins 15 carries for 69 yards and 3 touchdowns on the day. It's getting late early there for Miami and McDaniel and maybe even Tua Tagovailoa as well, like you kind of said. But the problem is they're stuck with that contract, I think, next year. And then obviously you got the Tyreek Hill on the bloated contract. They need to clean house, but this thing needs to be torn down to the studs in Miami to get this team back in a. I mean, you and I, like with fans out there, Miami was good back in the day. Well, we had Dan Marino. We had that.
They were competitive. Now let me say this. I respect every team in the National Football League, but the Cleveland Browns shouldn't be beating up on you. I mean, Dylan Gabriel, he was 13-18, 116 yards. And you went to Quinshon Judkins. I mean, he was 25-84, 3 touchdowns. That was the game right there. Harold Fannin Jr., 4 for 36. The next, no other receiver had more than 1 catch over 25 yards for the rest of the game. And then you look at, how they get blown out like this? Because Tua was 12 of 23, 100 yards and 3 touchdowns. 3 interceptions. Quinn Ewers came in 5 of 8. 53 yards. This team was imploding. One, we can't get Coach McDaniel to say anything remotely positive about the team right now. They asked him about what you need to do. He said not throw 10 picks. Basically said he's a pick machine right now. He's throwing to everybody but the other team. Tyreek Hill is on social media trying to say some encouraging words about his team. People coming at him. And he's trying to be encouraging. Dang, I can't even say nothing encouraging. He's blaming me for what's going on. Jalen Waddle's in the news saying he want to get traded. That's not going to happen. It's going to be a long season for the Miami Dolphins because they don't respect Mike McDaniel. Nobody respects Tua, and they got 10 more. Think about it, you got 10 more games.
10 more games.
Woo! It's gonna be a long year, people. We at the end. We about to, at the end of November. In October. We still got November and December, and I think the season ends in 2026. That's the regular season, by the way. Good luck with that. That's gonna be rough.
Yeah. Let's keep it moving here. In Kansas City, they improved to 4-3 on the year, 31-0 shutout over the Las Vegas Raiders, who are now just 2-5 on the year. Another team that just not looking so good, but I think the Chiefs are back. I don't think they ever left. I don't think they ever left personally. I think they had to kind of find their way. But Las Vegas, 3 first downs in the game, the fewest in the NFL since the Raiders had 3 in Week 9 back in 2008 to your Falcons.
Patrick Mahomes, 26-35, 286 yards, 3 tubs. Richet Rice is back, 7 for 42, 2 touchdowns. Travis Kelce had 3 for 54. Pacheco, he has 15 for 57 and 1 touchdown. But this about the Raiders, though. Geno Smith, 10 of 16, 67 yards. 10 of 16, 67 yards. Kenny Pickett, 2 for 2, 8 yards. Ashton Jeanty, 6 for 21. They literally shut those guys all the way down. Like, it ain't even funny. Here's the thing about the Raiders. They're going to have to find an identity. They're going to have to find a post here real soon. Or they're going to be telling people, man, it's a culture problem, which you already knew. Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, Max Crosby, Ashton Jeanty, Brock Bowers. This is embarrassing. And I know Brock Bowers didn't play. It is hard to get shut out in football. 31-0. That is a beat down. That is a go back to the meeting room, put your big boy pads on, put your ego to the side, put your pride to the side, because you're going to have to look at this tape and know we are what the tape says we are. Max Crosby going to give you everything he got, but he don't play he don't play offense. He don't play quarterback. He don't call plays. They're going to have to be more competitive. I knew that the Kansas City was going to beat them. 31-0? Man. I mean, everybody on the Kansas City Chiefs roster got to play on Sunday, and that's because the game was over. Yeah, shout out to them Chiefs, but if you are the Raiders, y'all gonna have to get it together here soon. We talking about y'all definitely gonna be picking in the top 5. Where right now you're looking at 2 or 3, depending on what happened with the Jets. It's gonna be it's a race for the number 1 pick. And if you are Geno Smith, if they pick a number 1, they go on quarterback, whether you there or not.
Yeah, and Rashee Rice, welcome back. 6-game suspension, and he tore it up. And I think he's their number 1 receiving option by far there moving forward. The Philadelphia Eagles get the win 28-22 over the Minnesota Vikings, improving to 5-2 on the year. Minnesota falls to 500, 3-3. It was Jalix Hunt's pick 6 that led the Eagles defense, though. The brilliant call from Fangio and Carson Wentz. Didn't really see him, I don't think. But Hunt becomes the second defensive player in Eagles history, 250-plus pounds to score a touchdown this season. The rest of the NFL has just one player. That would be Cardinals linebacker Xavier Collins. There's the Eagles, like I said, win 2022.
This was supposed to be the revenge game for Carson Wentz, but as you mentioned, Carson Wentz out there throwing pick 6, 26-42, 313 yards, 2 picks. I mean, Mason had 15 for 57 and a touchdown. I mean, Jordan Addison, 9 for 128. Justin Jefferson, 5 for 79. But this all Jalen Hurts, 19 23, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, Devonta Smith went off, 9 for 183 and a touchdown. A.J. Brown had 4 for 121 and 2 touchdowns, which means whenever they want to turn it on, they can turn it on with the passing game. You know why? What about Saquon Barkley? What about him? 18 for 44. I don't know what's going on. Now, Saquon Barkley did have 1 catch for -2 yards. Don't really know what's going on with Saquon Barkley this year in the game plan. I mean, maybe teams are just trying to take him away. Maybe 2024 was an outlier, or maybe he just got to keep playing. But if you are Minnesota, this is all about what Carson Wentz didn't do. When you are getting pick 6s and it didn't really look like himself all game. I mean, 28-22 had a shot to win it. But the Eagles got back to their winning ways because, we gonna over-scrutinize the Eagles and we're going to under-scrutinize a Minnesota Vikings team. But just like we mentioned with Caleb Williams earlier and company beating the Saints, Minnesota is staring up at being the worst team in the division right now. They're not better than Detroit. They're not better than Green Bay. And right now, they're not better than the 4-game win streak Chicago Bears. So I don't know how long Carson Wentz is going to be there, but if he's going to be there, find a way to throw the ball to your team, not the other team. And if you didn't see a guy, don't admit it in the post-game press conference, Anthony Richardson. Say, oh, yeah, man, that was just a good play. I didn't see him. Because when you say that other defensive coordinators of the other team, like, you can't see people when we drop back, hit people in the coverage, okay. We gonna test that football knowledge the rest of the way, or at least until McCartney gets back.
The Carolina Panthers take down the New York Jets 13-6 to improve to 4-3. Ben, for the first time since 2021, the Panthers have a winning record. It is a glorious day in the Charlotte and all throughout the state of North Carolina and South Carolina for those who are Panther fans that live in these states. The Jets now 0-7 on the year. It was J.C. Horn's 2 interceptions that propelled the Panthers, but did not come without cost. The MetLife turf, I'm just kidding, it wasn't the turf. It was Bryce Young's ankle got stepped on, diagnosed with a high ankle sprain, but the mild kind. So it sounds like he's going to probably be out against the Buffalo Bills this week, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to see Bryce Young versus Josh Allen. But alas, Red Rifle versus Josh Allen most likely now coming in Charlotte next week, which we'll talk about later. But Derek Brown continuing to play like a madman as well. 7 tackles, 2 sacks. Brian Baldinger with another shout out on Derek Brown. He even went as far to say he doesn't think any defensive tackle, including Dexter Lawrence or Jalen Carter, is playing better than Derek Brown is this season. That is some high praise from Brian Baldinger about Derek Brown. And then J.C. Horn got shout outs this morning from Darius Slay at the Steelers, current player, and a retired cornerback, Richard Sherman, also shouting out J.C. Horn. I think people are noticing, Ben, the talent on this Panthers team is underrated, I would say. Not to try to be a homer, but J.C. Horn and Derek Brown, 2 of the best at their position, holding the Jets 6 points, and no touchdowns for the second straight week.
Well, to show the difference a year makes, right? I mean, this time last year we was talking about trying to be able to replace a guy like Derrick Brown, which you cannot do. And I think the thing is that you're realizing is when it comes to football, I need to have it at 3 levels. I need to have it on the D line. I need to have it in my front 7, including the D line. And I got to have somebody on the back end, whether it be a corner or safety. J.C. Horn is a lockdown corner. He's a top 5 corner. And if you don't like it, if you don't believe me, ask any receiver. They got to go up against him. Any one of them. What I was most impressed by this game is that the Panthers won ugly. See, the thing about winning in football, it's not about how you win, it's that you win. Yes, it was a casualty when you talk about what happened to Bryce Young, but the way you made the Jets look, I mean, Justin Fields was 6 for 12, 46 yards. Tyrod Taylor comes in 18 for 22, 126 yards, 2 touchdowns. So your backup ain't look no better than the starter. And if you are the Panthers, you feel good about this. One, you're on a 3-game win streak, and you're doing it by, by committee. It's not one set. I saw that Xavier Legette said after the game, they were telling him about career highs. Because we were talking about Xavier Legette, him coming to the party, and he did. 9 for 92, 1 touchdown. Trey McMillan, 3 for 33. But he said, I don't get too high with the high, too low with the lows, man. I know what I'm capable of doing. I just want to go out there and be a key contributor to my team every week. Shout out to your Panthers for, keeping everything, afloat. Because like you said, with a guy like Bryce Young going to Andy Dalton had to come in, I mean, that take the win out yourself, but they got the win. And you said it. I said you don't want to be the team that lose to the Jets, and your team is not the team that lost to the Jets. They moving on 4-3. And like I say, keeping pace with the Bucks in the NFC South division.
And to add insult to injury, I'm just gonna say it. We'll get to this team in a little bit. This is also the 3-year anniversary of the trade that sent Christian McCaffrey to San Francisco. It's October 20th of 2022, so exactly 3 years ago that trade did go down. But a lot of people don't blame the Panthers for that trade since he was very injury prone during his time, especially the last few seasons with the Panthers, especially. The New England Patriots improved to 5-2 on the year with a 31-13 win over your Tennessee Titans, 1-6. That team that drafted you. Drake May continuing to deal career highs in completion percentage and 91.3% and completion percentage over expected 24.4% on Sunday, 135.9 passer rating, 222 passing yards, and coming the third player under the age of 24 with 200 plus passing yards and 100 plus passer rating in 6 consecutive games. And breaking news that just happened not too long ago, Tyler Lockett was granted his release by the Tennessee Titans not too long ago. This afternoon, he requested that release a little bit ago. So Tyler Lockett now officially an ex-Titan. He's now a free agent.
Yeah, I'm happy for Tyler Lockett. I mean, they wasn't really utilizing him. Sometimes you forget he was on the roster. I mean, he had a catch on Sunday, but it wasn't like they was really trying to make him a game plan. They're trying to go more with Calvin Ridley and those rookies. But I'm going to just start with the Titans because it's hard. I mean, Cam Ward, 25 for 34, 255 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. DK had 4 for 70 in the touchdown. Tony Pollard had 6 for 43. Van Jefferson had 4 for 41. Tyler Lockett had 2 for 18. I mean, very pedestrian numbers. But as you mentioned, Drake made 21 to 23, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns. Joshua Dobbs had 1 for 1 for 12 yards. This was about Mike Vrabel coming back to Tennessee, letting Tennessee know y'all made a bad decision when I walked. When I was here, the culture was real. We was talking about not just winning the AFC South, dominating the AFC South, having the number 1 seed in the AFC South, meaning teams got to come through there to win. I mean, when Joe Burrow and company came to the Titans and won and went to the Super Bowl, it was things like that. Going to Kansas City when you had Marcus Mariota at freaking quarterback, Derrick Henry at running back. Now, Cam Ward has a shot to be good, but you don't know when and you don't know how. You know why? Because there is no culture right now with the Titans. The Titans is the worst team and the worst culture, not just in the AFC South, one of the worst teams in the league by far. And I don't want to hear about this direction of what you're going to do with Brian Callahan. You made the wrong decision when you hired that guy. You made the wrong decision when you hired to fire Rand Carthon and the front office to come and get a GM who's saying, yeah, we want to draft, we definitely want to develop, and we want to retain. That's what everybody does. And you said it out loud. The Titans are going to have to figure out some type of identity and some level of toughness here real quick, Smitty, because it's already an ugly season. It's only going to get uglier. And a guy in Cam Ward, who by the time he's ready to play meaningful football, you hope he has some confidence left or his body ain't ailing him because he be running for his life most of the time. And if I see another play outside of the pocket because the offensive line can't block saying, you love his athleticism. No, that's called common sense. They can't block the guys in front of me, so I'm cutting off one side. If he rushes to the right, I mean, if he scrambles to the right, that means he cuts off one side of the field. But I digress. Shout out to Mike Vrabel, which we knew it was going to be a big win. Didn't know it was going to be a blowout. If you are the Titans, you better find a way to get it done because you got an interim head coach, you got an offensive coordinator who don't really know what to do with Cam Ward, and you got a team that's out there scratching and clawing. And when they play Cleveland now, that might be a brawl for it all. I'm picking Cleveland over the Titans when they do play those guys.
Yeah. The New York Giants blow a lead to the Denver Broncos. They were up 19-0 at one time there in Mile High, but they lose this game 33-32 after the Broncos scored 33 points in the fourth quarter, or the second half, I should say. Something like that. But you might correct me with that. But anyway, the Broncos win 33-32 to improve to 5-2 on the year. Giants fall to 2-5 on the year. The Giants are really just going to be regretting how they handled it, especially that fourth quarter. But Broncos becoming the first team in NFL history to score 33-plus points after being shut out through the first three quarters. I think I was right. 33 points in the fourth quarter.
If you are, this is all about one thing. Okay, this is the remembrance of the 2015 Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos. They had everybody in the house. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders, DeMarcus Ware. You talk about Peyton Manning, those guys. They honored Demaryius Thomas, Bebe. Bebe is not too far from where I'm from. I'm from Swainsboro. He's from Dublin, Georgia, which is about 30 miles away from each other right off I-16. They honor him and they put him in the Denver Broncos Ring of Honor. And he died when he was 33. They scored 33 points. Problem is they scored 33 points in one quarter. I didn't even know that was possible. Like, let's think, we're not really giving this just due. 33 points. Now, Scatterboo and Jackson Dart was having their way.
They got something there for the future. The Giants do. I know Giants fans are tired of moral victories. They're going to tell you that they don't like moral victories.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson Dart. Well, yeah, I mean Jackson Dart he was 15 to 33, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Scatterboo had 16 for 60 yards. I mean, Tracy Jr. had 9 for in a touchdown, and Jackson Dart had a touchdown. But then Scatterboo also, was doing it on the ground. I mean, doing it through the air as well. Here's the thing. No one wants to talk about how good Bo Nix is in his second year. No one wants to talk about 27 to 50, which is a lot of throws again, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 548, 2 touchdowns. So he had 2 touchdowns rushing, 2 touchdown passes, and he just stuck with it. Now, it was some controversy in that game a little bit. I mean, when it comes to some of those calls, but if you are Brian Burns, if you are Kayvon Thibodeau, if you are Dexter Lawrence, if you are Abdul Carter, you're asking, what in the world were we doing? Like, we gave up 33 points. I don't care how they did it. They did it. That was an incredible game. Shout out to the Broncos for getting it done. And like I said, I know Kansas City is the class of that division. The Chargers are looking more like pretenders, even though they're looking like Savannah Bananas on Sunday. I know we're going to get to them. Look out. Listen, don't look now, but those Denver Broncos, they coming. They ain't scared of nobody, and they coming for everybody. I like what Bo Nix and Sean Payton are doing right now, man, just keeping everything afloat. If you can score 33 points, not a winning recipe moving forward. 33 points in one quarter, that's something to go home about, because the fact that you scored no points all game, but you scored 33. If you are the Giants, that's a long flight back to New York. And you're like, dude, what just happened? Brian Burns, keep doing what you're doing. I think you lead the league in sacks, but sacks are one thing. Winning is everything. He wants to win. Now, I don't want to be a good player on a bad team. I want to be a great player that help prepare my team to be a better team. But yeah, that got away from him.
Yeah. Broncos still not looking quite as good as they were last year. That a little bit of a sophomore slump for Bo Nix at times, but they are 5-2. We'll see what happens there. Speaking of those Chargers, they fall to the Indianapolis Colts, who have the best record in the league at 6-1 overall, 38-24. Chargers fall to 4-3 overall. Seems like a mile ago when they were at 3-0, undefeated in their division through 3 games, and now at 4-3. Those Savannah Banana uniforms, or as I call them, the mustard yellow, there in Los Angeles. Justin Herbert creates a career-high 57.4% pressure rate.
When you talk about meaningless stats, you see things like 37-55, 420 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he also had 2 picks, right? I mean, you talking about Gaston the second. I mean, 7 for 6, 164 in the touchdown. Keenan Allen, who's still trying to catch. I don't know if he's caught Antonio Gates now for the most catches and yards. In Chargers, his had 11 for 119 in a touchdown, but this wasn't about what the Chargers didn't do. It's what the Colts did do. Daniel Indiana Jones, 23 of 34, 288 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, this Jonathan Taylor, 16 of 94, 3 touchdowns. I mean, Tyler Warren still getting down 4 for 69 in a touchdown. Michael Pittman Jr. 758 a touchdown. The Colts are getting it done, running the football, throwing the football, and taking the football away. they're going to be a hard team to beat because right now they're still trying to figure themselves out with, like I said, with 10 games left in the season. But right now they look real good. You know who nobody's talking about? Anthony Richardson. See, I told you it wasn't the team. It was Anthony, who was athletic but got to play the position. Why is Daniel Jones a better quarterback than Anthony Richardson? No, he's a better fit, which makes him a better quarterback. I don't care about what you can do. It's what you do when you get a chance to do it. And Daniel Jones is getting it done. And he's getting it done in a very, very efficient way. So watch out if you got to play them Colts. You still got to play the Titans. Still got to play the Jags. Still got to play Houston. And they putting so much distance between them because, like I say, Houston, they win and no one's scared of them. Jacksonville is going in the wrong direction. And the Titans are the Titans. So if you are Daniel Jones and company, health will be what you're going to need down the stretch and quality play. Dare I say that coaching staff is looking real good, and they be showing that Jim Irsay's daughter, she be all on the sideline giving hugs. Hey, she's the owner. That's what she want to do. If it's working for her, it's working for them. Hey, man, shout out to her.
The Dallas Cowboys get the win over the Washington Commanders, 44-22. Improving to 3-3-1 on the year with that tie earlier in the year. Commanders falling to 3-4. Jaden Daniels left the carnage, injured hamstring, left the game. Marcus Mariota did come in relief. It sounds like his hamstring injury is not that serious. Might miss next week on Monday Night Football. We'll see what happens there. But Dak Prescott continuing his MVP-like season, 3+ touchdowns and 0 interceptions in 4 straight games, setting a new Cowboys franchise record.
As you mentioned, Jaden Daniels, 12 of 22, 156 yards, 1 touchdown. Marcus Mariota comes in 4 for 10, 63 yards, and a pick. Jaden Daniels also had 8 rushes, 35 yards, led them in rushing yards as well. But this is all about the Cowboys. I mean, Dak Prescott, 21 of 30, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns. Right, you talk about Javonte Williams, 19, 116 in the touchdown, 6.1 yards a carry. The law office of Lamb and Pickens is officially open. CeeDee Lamb coming back off an injury, 5 for 110 in the touchdown, and George Pickens 4 for 82. And then you talk about Jay Ferguson, who to me is one of the best tight ends in the NFL as well, 7 for 29, Absolutely. 2 touchdowns. If you are the Eagles, if you are the Giants, if you are the Commanders, who they just beat, they're not going quietly into the night. I know the Eagles are the best team. I know the Giants had 2 exciting rookies, and I know the Commanders had Jaden Daniels. We said when Dak Prescott is healthy, you're going to have to deal with the Cowboys. And when he's healthy, you see what's going on. They didn't beat Command. They beat the brakes off. And shout out to Tom Brady before the game. I guess he always go every time he does a Commanders game, he goes up to Jaden Daniels' mom, and they just talk to each other. That's class by Tom Brady, saying, hey, man, listen, I'm a big fan of your son. So I just think Tom Brady's showing, why he is who he is. But shout out to the Dallas Cowboys to where, listen, they cannot beat the Panthers, but they can beat the brakes of the Commanders. Shout out to them boys from the D.
Let's go to Arizona, where the Cardinals have now lost 5 straight games, losing now 27-23 yesterday to the Green Bay Packers, who are now 4-1-1 on the year with that tie of Dallas earlier in the year in that Micah revenge game. And the Cardinals fall to 2-5, as I said, with 5 straight losses. The Cardinals have lost 3 straight games after leading by 7 or more points entering the 4th quarter. Micah Parsons, he has 3 sacks in this game and generated 10 pressures as well.
Jacoby Brissett, 25 of 36, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, Trey McBride, 10 catches, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison Jr., 2 catches, 58 yards. You're going to have to find a way to get him more involved. Jordan Love, he was okay, 19 of 29, 179 yards and a touchdown. Josh Jacobs, 13 rushes, 55 yards, 2 touchdowns. If you are the Packers are saying, look, we got that tie on our schedule with the Dallas Cowboys, but we stay in the flow right now, like I mentioned. You look at 4-game win streak by Chicago. Detroit is finding, getting back to who they are, even though they got the Bucks right now. And Minnesota, I mean, they good, not great, but the Packers said, look, we're not going to lose to bad teams. Arizona is a bad team. The Packers are a good team. They find a way to get it done. I know Jacoby Brissett, he's still in the lineup, but he's playing good enough to beat teams. He just has to have help, Marvin Harrison. He needs help. So shout out to Green Bay. It's Arizona. And like we said, it's going to be – if this is going to be Tua's last year in Miami, it's just going to be Kyler Murray's last year in Arizona. Not because he can't get it done, but we kind of know what he is at this point.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. Your Falcons 500. 20-10 loss to the San Francisco 49ers, who they improved to 5-2 on the year. San Francisco 20, Atlanta 10. Michael Penix injured his groin last night in the loss. And also the loss, Divine Diablo for the Falcons injured his arm. Is it a sling? Fractured forearm for them. And C-Mac, the Niners trust as he's back to his winning ways. 100-plus rushing yards, 70-plus receiving yards in the game for the 7th time in his career. Ben, did you know that that's the most all-time? He broke a tie with Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk in prison.
This was one I hated when my Falcons lose to Kyle Shanahan, because they got to say, we had Kyle Shanahan. As you mentioned, Michael Penix, 21-30 at 241 yards, 1 touchdown. Bijan Robinson, 14 rushes, 40 yards. You only gained about 14 yards, on offense as far as like touches. And then, Mooney had 3 for 68. Kyle Pitts had 7 for 62. Bijan Robinson had 6 for 52 in the touchdown. They shut down Drake London, who had 4 for 42. But this is all about C-Mac. Mac Jones, 17 to 26, 152 yards in the pick. You have no Brandon Ayuk. You have no Ricky Pearsall. I know that I know that you get your tight end bag. With George Kittle, he didn't have any catches last night for no yards. Christian McCaffrey, 24 rushes, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. He also had 7 catches, 72 yards. You had to stop one guy, literally, and you didn't do it. So if you are the Falcons defense, the thing is now you say, who are we? Jesse Bates, what's up? Right? Like, you got to know that his name is C-Mac. That's who you got to stop. And Christian McCaffrey is like, Christian McCaffrey reminds me a lot of like Roger Craig when he was out there with the San Francisco 49ers so many years back. I think Roger Craig was the first running back to go 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing back when they had Jerry Rice and Joe Montana and so on and so forth. C-Mac is one of the best to ever do it. And when you said, though, Smitty, if his body hold up, he's one of the best to ever do it. And shout out to Fred Warner, who they showed up watching the game and with his wife and his son. He's gonna be, he got to get, he's done for the year. Dislocating his ankle, which is But shout out to the 49ers, man, finding a way to keep 5-2 with the quote easiest schedule in the National Football League. Hey, Brock Purdy gonna be the guy when he come back, but Mac Jones is doing a really, really good Robin role. Filling in for Brock Purdy.
I know we've got about 15 minutes before you have to go. Before we preview week number 9, and actually Monday Night Football, for those who, like I said, ending the week, the Detroit Lions 7-0 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers towards the end of the first quarter. Only score so far is a 27-yard touchdown pass from Jared Goff to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then Texans Seahawks coming up a little later tonight. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions from a hot topic standpoint from the NFL, just kind of what we kind of discussed earlier today, kind of offline. Two different scenarios that we were kind of chopping it up about, and then we'll preview week number 9 and get out of here. The first one. If you talk about these teams in the top 5, you mentioned it earlier, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Titans. Right now, the Cardinals are headed that direction. Some of these quarterbacks, besides the obvious, the Raiders, like some of these quarterbacks are so obvious as far as like it's going to probably be their last year, or maybe contractually they can't be moved on from yet because their money situation. But let's just take Tua Tagovailoa, Kyler Murray, and even Trevor Lawrence for the Jags, even though they're not 1 or 2 win team. Those are 3 quarterbacks right there that I think a lot of people were thinking like, is this their last year in those destinations? Are they going to be the veteran guys, if you will? And then obviously you have the younger teams like Tennessee with a rookie. The Jets need to draft a quarterback, as we know. They're 0-7. The Browns are a disaster. They have a rookie quarterback as well with Dylan Gabriel. Saints have Spencer Rattler, maybe Tyler Shuck. If Rattler continues to lose the games, they might see what they have in Shuck before the draft next year. But it's interesting, like the dichotomy of these teams that are going to be down at the bottom, and kind of that we want to win, but we also want to get picks, and maybe trade off some players, but not trade off a lot. Like, how do teams balance that in the kind of as the season kind of starts heading towards the draft for some of these teams down at the bottom?
you got to make sure you got to make sure you're doing what's in best interest of the team now and moving forward. I mean, I think the biggest thing about these quarterbacks is how they affect the locker room. You know, they're not affecting the team in a positive way on the field. Spencer Rattler is in a very unique situation because it's not his fault. He's on a bad team. And you know they're going to get a quarterback no matter what because of the debacle that they had in the 2025 NFL draft. Tua and Kyler Murray are the head scratchers because Tua, to me, that contract was crazy when they gave it to him because of his injury history.
Yeah.
Injury history. Kyler Murray has gotten 2 head coaches. No, I want to say 3 head coaches fired already. So Kyler Murray is probably done in Arizona because he needs a change of pace. You look at what's going on with a Jared Goff. You look at what's going on with a Baker Mayfield. You look at what's going on with a Sam Darnold. So a change of atmosphere, just getting out of a losing culture. Because if you lose so much, you're going to say, man, can I win? Is it me or is it us? Is it the coach? And so I say Tua. You know, I definitely say Kyler. You know, Spencer Rattler is a crazy situation. Jacksonville, they'll be fine with a guy like Trevor Lawrence because you got new coach Liam Cohen. We'll see what goes on with that. But what nobody's talking about is it's the freaking Jets. Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields are neither. That's not the guys moving forward.
Let me zero in on that. The 3 teams that people talk about that have basically no hope right now, the Titans, the Jets, and the Dolphins. I mean, those are kind of the 3 I think everyone's kind of, you know, the Dolphins with their bad cap situation, obviously the head coach and GM are probably going to get fired. The Jets, first-year head coach, no quarterback. Some talent, yes, but the ownership is there as well. It's the Jets. The Titans just fired their coach. They have a rookie quarterback, but they don't have a lot of else around him. So, I mean, who do you have the most faith in moving forward between those 3 teams? Like, at the end of the day, to like kind of turn this around in the next few years? Is it another team that I'm not mentioning that is in a worse situation than one of those 3?
I will say the Jets for this reason. Aaron Glenn has not had an opportunity to pick his own quarterback. I mean, he got Justin Fields, but Justin Fields was a guy that said, man, I think you'll be good for this offense. I like the Jets because I think the Jets are in the division that you see what a difference a head coach makes, a quarterback makes. I mean, you know, you're talking about Mike Vrabel, and nobody's afraid right now of the Dolphins. Right? Nobody's afraid of the Dolphins right now, and the Patriots seem to be the class of that division right now. And the Bills aren't going anywhere, right? But they could be beat. So I would go with the Jets because I want to see what Aaron Glenn can really do. And like I said, the Jets have been a bad organization for a long time. I mean, their best quarterback has been Mark Sanchez, who I don't even know what's going on with his legal situation right now. I mean, so I say give Aaron Glenn some time because he's going to have the defense. He's going to get the players in there. He's going to be able to build around guys like Wilson and Gardner, you know, and Quentin Williams and those type guys. So I would say the Jets would give me the Jets fans would disagree, but I would say give them some patience.
And then the other one that we talked about earlier was kind of quarterback, or not quarterback, but kind of coaching at the podium when it comes to like the media. We've seen the Anthony Richardsons of the world where, you know, I'm tired and I was tired and I came out for a play. You've seen the Tua Tagovailoas with the locker room stuff and those comments. You've got Mike McDaniel doing his thing at the podium. And then you got Dave Canales today with the Panthers trying to tell the Buffalo Bills is tight. You know, Bryce is going to try to give it a go on Wednesday, even though reports are he's expected to miss the game against Buffalo potentially. So what's your thoughts on kind of the media? I don't think we talk about enough about players and coaches at the podium and kind of the little song and dance they got to play with the media and revealing a lot, but not a lot. The word salad that they like to play up there at the podium.
I think it's a part of your job because you have to be able to set the type of culture you want to have. If you're very open with the media, you can't start being open and get real, standoffish as you get, as the games get more intense and maybe your jobs. You have to decide this is how I'm going to be with the media. I'm gonna say a lot, but not a whole lot. I'm gonna give you some points, but not points. I got to keep the media guessing. I can't give you everything. And that's a part of these head coaches that we don't give enough credit to. They're watching how you call games. They're watching how you talk about the team. That's a part of your job. Yes, certain players are gonna have to do interviews. Usually the quarterbacks and the best players on the team. Most players do not do interviews. Now they'll do them at the locker after a game. They'll come to you after the game, or maybe during the week. But I'm talking about having to go in in the media room with the backdrop saying the Panthers, and he got to talk. Coach Canales, as long as you're winning, you can say whatever you want. That's what we're gonna get. As long as you're winning, they're willing to accept it, even if I don't like it. You start losing, that's not gonna work. Think about it. You can say the same thing, but if you're losing, it comes off different because you won. Panthers faithful is they want to know when Bryce is coming back. And he said, I can't give you nothing definitive. I can only tell you what Bryce told me and what he's willing to do. Because if he would have said he's playing Sunday and he don't play, see, that's the part. It's a word salad, but you better, and listen, you're willing to eat it as long as you're winning. Winning cures everything. You are willing to. We accept Bill Belichick because he won. We accept Nick Saban because he won. We accept, Sean McVay and Sean Payton, because they won. Harbaugh out there with the Chargers, we accept it as long as he's winning. When he doesn't winning, he's just as weird before he started winning. But everything that people don't like about you comes out when you lose. But y'all winning, Smitty, and he'll take it right now. But after this week, and as the weeks, all right, give me the timeline on Bryce, especially if the offense sputters.
Yeah, before we preview week number 8 in the National Football League with our top 5 games to watch in our normal toilet bowl that we like to give to, is there any other storylines around the league or anything that you wanted to hit with our viewers? I know you had some things that you're pretty passionate about with the NFL every week. I think Lamar Jackson is still out right now as the Ravens return from their bye. I'm just reading through the quick headlines here. Broncos, Dre Greenlaw was suspended 1 game out of the NFL. He talked apparently to the referee after the game yesterday, said some words as well, and that is not good. He maybe assaulted the ref with some words, and he got suspended by the league for 1 game. And then the sad news today, I don't know if you saw it, was the muscle hamster.
Yeah, muscle hamster. Doug, I was going to say that. Doug, yeah, Doug
the Boise State Broncos, the Bucks, the Raiders, died in custody today.
I would say this about Doug Martin, whether it was Doug Martin and Vincent Jackson, guys that I never played with, but if I'm a part of the NFL fraternity, and if you are, being a former player, I'm very, very sensitive and empathetic when players lose their lives because it's always, what was it about? And we don't want to speculate. They said he did die in police custody. I'm just praying for his family. Muscle Hamster had an incredible rookie season. He was a really, really good football player this time in the National Football League. I know that Gerald McCoy, former Buccaneer, said, look, man, that's a 4th teammate of mine that has passed away. So you guys make sure you tell your family members you love them. So hearts and prayers goes out to Doug Martin's family he left behind, the Muscle Hamster. I mean, I don't know if it gets much better of a nickname than a muscle hamster. And if you ever seen Doug Martin play, you'll see why they call him that. But my condolences to his family.
Let's preview week number 8 to close out this episode here on winning the division. The primetime games, as I've done pretty much every week, Thursday Night Football, Vikings at the Chargers. The Sunday night game is the Packers traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. And the Monday night game is the Commanders going to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. So those are your primetime games for week number 8. All right, top 5 games to watch in week number 8. I'll go ahead and I'll knock these out really quickly. Number 5 on the list is actually going to be the Sunday night game, Packers-Steelers on NBC. Can Jordan Love and company rebound from their ugly win, I should say, against the Cardinals and beat the Steelers on the road, a team that they should beat, in my opinion. It should get the win there. Number 4 on this list, Commanders-Chiefs. I know Monday Night Football game, even though Jane Daniels may not play, the Chiefs are 4-3. This is an important game for them at home, a team that they should beat. But again, the Commanders are frisky. They got blown out last week against the Cowboys, so they're looking to come back with a vengeance, even with it might be with Marcus Mariota, because they obviously don't want to put up a stinker like that again. I think that'll be a pretty good game on Monday Night Football. Number 3 on this list, give me 49ers Texans. Texans are hosting the 49ers. I didn't say this earlier when we recapped the 49ers game, but it just feels like the 49ers are like a mass unit right now. They should not be 5-2 with all these injuries, but here they are. And so can they get to 6-2 The Texans will see if they win tonight in Seattle to get to 500. After starting 0-3, they definitely need it tonight. And obviously, they would get over 500 with a win next week if they do obviously get the win tonight. Number 2 on this list, Vikings Chargers on primetime. The Carson Wentz versus, or probably going to be Carson Wentz again, actually, versus Justin Herbert. Both these teams need a win desperately to start out the week. Both of these teams are trending the wrong direction. And then number 1, a little bit of a homer pick, Panthers-Bills. Down in Charlotte, Panthers are 3-0 at home, undefeated, been 4-0 in the month of October. Can they keep the sweep for the month of October and beat the Buffalo Bills to get to 5-3 on the year without Bryce Young potentially? Andy Dalton, last time this happened, Andy Dalton slung it against the Las Vegas Raiders out there in Vegas last year ironically in week 3, and with Bryce with an ankle. And or no, I'm sorry, that was Bryce's rookie year. I apologize. That was week 3 in Seattle. Bryce's rookie year, he had the ankle. But regardless, Andy Dalton still got it done the last time this happened with Bryce Young out in the game. And the My Toilet Bowl is. There's so many choices to choose from, but it's going to be Jets Bengals just for the sake of Bengals. Get that from Joe Flacco again? I don't know. And then Jets are still 0-7, so until they win a game, I've got to pick them as my toilet bowl right now. So those are my top 5 games to watch in the week. Number 8 plus the toilet bowl.
Let me go through mine real fast because I got to get up out of here. My number 5 is Vikings Chargers at my number 5. My number 4, Bills Panthers. I think that's going to be a really, really good game. My number 3 is Bears Ravens. I want to see Caleb Williams, versus that Ravens defense. I hope they come to play. My number 2 is Cowboys Broncos. I want to see that. And my number 1 is Packers Steelers. I think it's going to be a really, really good game on Sunday night. It's been really, really good football. Can Jalen Ramsey and Porter Jr. can they look like lockdown corners? Because right now they getting beat down, not locked down anybody. But and my toilet bowl is the Jets and the Bengals as well. I mean, that's going to be my quickest one. I got to be able to go. I got to be able to go get my daughter right now. She's in dance recital. Whatever she's doing, she's the actress. She's doing all these things. But hey, man, look, I'm gonna get a chance to do this. Look, because Smitty used to do this. Listen, this is episode number 69. I am being Troupe. He is Ryan Smitty Smith. And remember, you either doing 2 things. You either in the division or you winning the division. And if you a Jets fan, you just in the division right now. But we out of here, man. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe.